Hello YouTube friends, I'm down here in my studio and thought I'd do something a little bit different today. I'm going to show you one of the mandolins that I've built from scratch. This is the mandolin that I'm currently playing on stage. It's really proud of it. I built it last March. I had just built one pretty much just like it back in about January of last year. That would be 2013. And it went to a fella down in Lexington, Kentucky, Steve Norman. He's a real good guy and good mandolin player. And as far as I know, he's really liking that mandolin. Well, that mandolin kind of made me jealous because I hadn't made one for myself for quite a few years. So I decided to go ahead and make myself a pretty customized mandolin. And I built it out of a tree that was growing right here on my farm in rural Missouri. It was a sycamore tree. I had a conservation agent come out to the farm and he said, well, you need to get rid of all these sycamore trees growing out here around your fields. He said, those should be growing down by the river. Those have been planted by birds up here and those need to go. And I said, well, okay, I need firewood. And so when I cut one down, I thought, I know that sycamore makes some good fiddles. I've heard different instruments made out of them. I thought, I'm just going to make me a nice mandolin out of that. And I was able to get some real figured pieces. When you quarter saw sycamore, it's pretty figured. And so this is actually about the third mandolin, or maybe fourth mandolin, third I think, that we've made out of sycamore. And normally, by the way, I do make them out of the traditional woods, the curly maples and all that. Whatever, you know, they're totally customizable. Whatever anybody wants, that's what we build. And so this one is pretty highly customized. You can see right off it's got a vine up and down the fingerboard that I drew and scanned into the computer, and then glued it to some shell and sawed the shell out, and then I glued it to the fretboard, the same printout, and routed it out. There are red rosebuds wherever there should be position dots. You can see my logo is the Rosa. Rosa being my last name means rose in Latin, so I use that as my logo. And you can see the scroll is highly carved. It's not just a flat scroll like a lot of them. And the F-holes are exactly like a Loar. As a matter of fact, this whole mandolin, body, everything was traced off of a Loar. I was fortunate enough to take apart one of the better Lloyd Loar mandolins back in the mid-90s, and I was able to measure it in thousands of inches all over. I'm one of the few builders in the world that have been able to do that. Very fortunate, and so I build mine to those exact specs from a 24 Loar. And it was a signed Loar, by the way. The rose carved in the back is standard on all of my mandolins. There's a kind of a red-black hue, some gold in it a little bit, and you can see the figure in the sycamore. It's pretty good. It's got a pretty good sound. This one is not the loudest one I've built. It's a pretty loud mandolin, but it's not the loudest. The one I built for Steve Norman was very loud, and that's what he was looking for. This has the Waverly tuners on it. These are those gold tuners, handmade tuners. They are pretty pricey themselves. The saddle that I use on my mandolins is what kind of started my whole business. They're made out of deer antler, and I sell those all over the world. I've had customers in all 50 states and 17 countries on those saddles alone. So, hope you enjoy this. I'll play a little bit so you can at least kind of hear what it sounds like. Not the best mandolin player, but I get by. in the key of E. I learned that from old Kenny Baker. It's a Bill Monroe tune called the Kentucky Waltz. We'll play just one more little quick tune for you. Maybe something like old Joe Clark, just something simple. Because that's about all I can play, something simple. The Rosa mandolin. This is a custom F5 Lloyd Loar copy. I sell them for starting out about $6,000 a piece. If you're interested, I don't have a waiting list at the moment. Get your orders in. We'll be glad to take them for you.